Okay, so Avengers Endgame came out. I saw it this past Sunday. Lincoln's already seen it.
I saw it on premiere day, and it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Got the bucket, got the cup, got the card, all the collector's items, man.
So basically, like for me, I will just, without spoiling anything right now, I'll wait about 10 minutes or so before we get into that. But yeah, like I thought it was good, you know, like it as far as Marvel films go, it's good, it's okay. Like you can't really.
Would you rather watch any of the DC movies over this?
Probably Shazam.
Probably Shazam.
I had a lot more fun with Shazam.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I thought I liked both of them pretty well.
I mean, like I said, you have to try to make a bad Marvel movie, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
do you think they tried?
I think they tried to make a good movie.
I think they did make a good movie.
Well, of course, the acting I think it's always good. You can't really ask much more from these people that have been doing this for so long with these same characters.
And just the love behind the scenes that they all have for each other.
Exactly.
Constantly making jokes and posting on all their social medias together.
Yeah, like the people, the cast members that you know have been together for a while, that have been there from the start. You know, you can definitely kind of sense that entourage kind of feel, the whole lovey-dovey family nonsense that they got going on is pretty well marked.
I think it's pretty real when there's on and offset kind of chemistry like that. You can tell when they're acting well together as well.
Yeah, I thought, you know, because it's an Avengers movie, you really pay more attention to the action scenes, like the really epic moments. There were a lot of epic moments I really liked.
Plenty of epic moments, plenty of good cry.
I don't know if I'd say plenty. I think I'll get to that later, but I don't think there's as many epic moments as there should be. Captain Marvel's haircut looks cool. Tell me what you liked about it, because I want to know what you genuinely liked about it, and then maybe it'll remind me of something I enjoyed.
So, I thought the general pacing for this movie being 3 hours long was wonderful.
Really?
And I thought it went back and forth well enough to keep you entertained. I thought that the downs were pretty, like when the storytelling got deep and dark into the nitty gritty of like the remorse and regret that they're feeling in the grief of loss that they're all going through. Thought that was very well acted through, and you could tell that they were all very sad.
Right.
The funny parts I thought were hilarious. Then you have some more deep and dark throughout the movie, but not as much as the beginning is. And it continues to keep you entertained and is either funny or has an action thing going on. And I thought the ending was really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I thought that it was really funny. I thought the acting was really great. I thought that the story was told really well. And I think that it was one of the better Marvel movies.
I really do like a lot of the little subtle things in the film.
Yeah.
Without really having to get into spoilers, there's a lot of like callbacks to, say, previous films, maybe some iconic scenes in previous films that are referenced here, and also just a couple of Easter eggs. There's a fair amount. They're pretty entertaining to catch here and there if you've been following the series for as long as we have. But the Easter eggs, yeah, they're fine and they're fun. The stuff that I like about it is already stuff that was just already established. Yeah, I like these characters. Yeah, I like this dialogue. I mean, I noticed that a lot of the dialogue was just references to other dialogue. And yeah, that has its place, but at the same time, it's like, why are you just recycling the same stuff over and over? It's like, yeah, I want you to like punch me in the feels and like make me feel for these characters. But I digress. I'm sorry, I keep trailing off into the negatives.
You're gonna get so many negative comments.
I like that this is like the first film that we're getting some unique team ups that we have never seen before.
That was one of the best parts of it, I felt.
Like seeing Rocket Raccoon and Bruce Banner and Iron Man all working together on a project. Like,
very interesting.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice.
So Nebula and
War Machine.
Yeah, Nebula and War Machine. I almost said Iron Man again, but
that was kind of cool.
Or Iron Man and Nebula at the beginning.
I mean, it's just really cool seeing Don Cheadle have a more prominent role. Not really prominent because he doesn't.
But just more speaking role in an Avengers movie.
Yeah, I like Don Cheadle.
That's a good actor.
And,
except for his really terrible accent in the Ocean's 11.
Yeah, so a lot of unique team ups. I like the fact the scenes where they're actually doing the time heist itself is actually kind of entertaining. Just to see them go back in time and kind of look at certain scenarios from perspectives that
have
changed a little bit. Like, for instance, this isn't necessarily a spoiler since you already kind of know time travel is involved, but the scene where they go back to 2012 and it's the first Avengers movie and they're all surrounding Tom Hiddleston, Loki, and then it's like, of course it's supposed to be the shot from like the last scene where they're about to arrest Loki. And
he asked for the drink.
Yeah, and then they're just like, all right, let's stop standing around like posing and stuff. Let's get back to work. You know what? I like seeing all the different stuff that was going on between all the glamour and the action and stuff from the previous films. It's just kind
and then them arguing about where Loki's going.
Yeah.
You didn't see that in the Avengers movie.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a little behind the scenes clip.
Yeah. There's tons of callbacks and whatnot.
How'd you feel about there not being a end credit scene?
I was fine with it.
There's a noise.
What is it?
It's Iron Man bashing in the first movie when he's building his first Mark 1 suit. You just hear the like banging of the hammer against the hot metal. It's a cool little homage, kind of.
Yeah. So I guess that's about it. Before we go into spoilers, because I would say the stuff about it that I don't like, but that requires spoilers.
Exactly. So let's get right into it.
Spoiler territory.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say the opening scene immediately drawed me in.
Really?
The opening scene of Hawkeye losing his family in a very, very he looks around and doesn't see the dust really. They're just kind of gone.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing to show the character development of Hawkeye losing his family and becoming Ronin.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you to pump the brakes real quick. I did not like that scene. No, come back.
I'm tired of having opinions. This is getting ridiculous.
Alright, so the reason I did not like that scene was because Avengers Infinity War came out like a year ago. And when that movie came out, it was shocking to see all the people get dusted. You had Ant-Man and the Wasp, people were getting dusted, all that
End credit scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Exactly. All that bad stuff. So to see it happen from Hawkeye's perspective, for me, we didn't need to see that scene.
I think you did.
We didn't need it
because it would have been too much if they had that also in Infinity War, and that was the only time that you saw Clint. And you were
I just don't think you need it at all.
Why?
Because, the film obviously has no qualms skipping 5 years and then just dumping what's been happening in the past 5 years with each individual character on the audience all at once. So seeing Clint Ronin just pop up in Tokyo doing whatever it was he was doing in Tokyo.
Just killing mobsters.
Exactly. That could have been the scene right there. Because we all
know. But then
know.
You have no...
Well, everybody knows that somebody got
you
busted.
have to see it.
You don't have to see it.
Because if they were just like, Fury and that agent are gone... Like, if they just did that to some other characters, you would be like, well, I wanted to see that.
Well, no, Nick Fury and...
Exactly, the agent. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
She's actually important.
She is very important.
Her name right now.
I couldn't either.
They were important and they were necessary to see because Nick Fury is like
I know,
one of the voices He's one of the people behind the Avengers.
He's one of the OG Avengers. You had to see his family die. They're not going to put the family in Age of Ultron and then not kill them off in some way in Infinity War or Endgame.
Or just introduce him in some way. And honestly, like, we saw his family, we know who his family is. There's no reason to just not...
Because he's not in the other movie at all.
Yeah.
They needed some kind of story arc for him in this one.
And that could have been it right there. Is just
how else
we
would you
know what's happening to... Hell, why didn't they just pick up with the next scene?
With them killing Thanos?
Yeah.
Because then there wouldn't be a lead into that scene.
What are you talking about?
You can't just open the movie with them all going, he just used the stones. Let's go kill him real fast. They had to have one thing before that. And one thing before that, the character that they were like, oh yeah, he's not going to be in this movie. In the movie the next time.
Yeah, but it's like he gets his family back at the end anyway. We all know he was going to get his family back at the end.
Of course, that's why you got to see him get taken away.
Oh my god. We all know they were taken away. There were no
criticisms
reason
are
to
getting
shove it in our
ridiculous.
face.
Next.
Alright.
The next scene. Thanos getting murked. How'd you feel?
Thanos getting murked?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was stupid that Thanos didn't kill the Avengers before he destroyed the stones.
Because he didn't think they would be able to time travel in this way.
You know what? That's
lazy.
ridiculous. That is lazy.
No, what I think is lazy is how Ant-Man gets into the story. Because if that rat didn't turn on the quantum realm by accident, he would have never got out.
True.
Ant-Man coming out of the quantum realm the way he did was lazy writing.
Yes.
Compared to them going and killing him off in the beginning of the movie as like that Thanos who knew all of them well and knew how to defeat all of them. Mm-hmm. Killing off that version of him and then having the 2014 version of him be the big bad at the end, not knowing all of their capabilities or all of the heroes or having a battle plan whatsoever, just charging in to have one big battle at the end, which I thought was all very well good writing compared to the rat getting on top of the thing to let Ant-Man out. I thought that was the only lazy piece of writing in the movie.
Interesting.
I thought all of the other stuff was...
You thought that was the only one? Captain America picking up Thor's hammer?
Probably the coolest shot in the entire movie.
Yeah, like that was probably the most epic moment.
I knew it the second that he called it in the Dark World, when they go to the Dark World movie. Mm-hmm. Whenever Thor calls the hammer and then brings it back with him to the present, I was like, Cap's gonna pull. He's gonna pick it up,
right?
Because he's got a hammer and the axe. Why? You can't use both all the time. Somebody's gonna pick it up.
That was cool though when you saw Thor grab two hammers.
Yeah, and then
damn.
I knew it had to be Cap picking it up at that point because they had two hammers, and I was like, he can't be using both of them. He knows Stormbreaker's better for him because it can summon the Bifrost and has all of its extra powers and whatnot.
Right. And
it's just bigger and cooler than little hammer.
Yeah.
But Cap picking it up and then using it without like any restraint at all, just immediately
awesome.
like Thor.
It was awesome.
Because then I was also thinking, how is Cap going to be useful in this second fight whatsoever?
Right.
Because like him and Hawkeye and Natasha are pretty much nothing compared to like all of the other Avengers.
And then they were just like giving Thor's powers.
Yeah, they were just like giving Thor's powers. But they hinted it before, so it's not lazy writing.
Yeah, it's not like it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You kind of have to like know about it ahead of time. But if they
didn't
didn't know about it though, you would think of all people, Cap would be the only other guy to do it. That was like the only scene in the movie when he was fighting Thanos with the hammer, just like 1v1.
Yeah.
Nobody else, and it was just him and Thanos going at it. That was like the only scene in the movie where I was just like, oh snap, son!
You didn't think it was cool when Iron Man and him were fighting again?
No, already seen it.
I mean, you saw Captain America get punched in the face real hard.
Have I ever seen Captain America use Thor's hammer to fight a fucking
Have you ever
turtle?
seen Iron Man put all of the Infinity Stones in his hand and then say the dopest line ever?
That was cool. That was nice. That was awesome.
He ends it with the line that ended the first movie.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
That is the ultimate 22 movie callback.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. The scene where it's just Captain America and he's looking out over and he sees like Thanos' army just coming out and it's just him by himself, and then all of a sudden you've got like all the Avengers just start popping up, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so cool! Like, cause like that moment right there is the moment where I was like, this is what I've been waiting to see.
Yeah, that was the point of the movie.
This right here is the moment in which I've been waiting through all these films. I've wanted to see the moment where you've got all the Avengers, and then you've got the bad guys, and they're just going at it. And you know what? For the first 5 minutes, it was awesome. And then it went on way too long, and then it got boring. I'm sick and tired of the Hulk getting the shaft in these movies.
Get over it. They don't own the rights to him.
What are you talking about?
Universal still owns the rights. That's why they can't make a movie. That's why
I don't care if they can't make a movie. If they're going to feature him in these movies,
only care
they need to work with him.
They did. They gave him more story arc than half of the characters in these movies.
Here's the problem with what they did to the Incredible Hulk in this movie.
Okay.
They set up a story arc in
This was the end of his story arc.
There was no story arc in this film. It doesn't carry over at all from the previous film.
I agree with that a little bit. But I think what they did instead was just as good.
What did they do?
They gave us Bruce Banner as the Hulk.
Was this something people were asking for?
No, but this is what I've always wanted in a movie.
To just see Bruce Banner. Basically.
As the Hulk, yes.
What did he do as the Hulk?
He did time travel.
Bruce Banner can do that.
Yeah, but not as well.
What are you talking about?
He was way smarter as this version of him.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He was the exact same. He still refers to the Hulk as the Hulk.
But he also refers to Bruce as Bruce.
Because now he's got to look at it as, well, the Hulk was doing this and Bruce is doing this. I'm Bruce. I'm Bruce Banner. People call me Bruce. People call me Hulk. Yeah, I'm two people, but you see me speaking right now, you see me talking, you see me eating food, you see me doing calculations. That's Bruce Banner. When you see me picking up benches, that is the Incredible Hulk. What did the Incredible Hulk do?
I mean, he's useless.
No. Exactly.
The Hulk himself is useless as just the Hulk. As Bruce Banner Hulk, he's both the best worlds.
He's one of the strongest superheroes they have to offer.
But with no mind or knowledge to do any of it. That's why him as Bruce Banner is way more interesting and important than just him going smash.
But he finally has the ability to control his form and do something with it. He doesn't do anything with it.
Because he's
the only thing that he does with this form is use the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay, one, I'm upset that the Hulk story arc just doesn't exist in this movie. I'm sorry. There's literally no character change for him to go through.
Because he already did it between movies.
The
5 years.
Exactly, that's horseshit. How?
I don't care about the Hulk. I couldn't care less about the Hulks turning into Bruce Banner Hulk or them trying to have more of a story arc because they've already given him 3 movies worth of transformations that didn't, or character development that I didn't care about.
There's literally an entire dichotomy that goes into the whole thing, and the people just use this 5-year time skip as a way of just saying
it's already 3 hours.
I'm not asking. I don't expect them to go into detail about Spider-Man and what's going on in his universe. Because I assume maybe in Spider-Man Far From Home, then they'll explain it there. Maybe it'll make more sense there. Because it doesn't make sense how at the end when Spider-Man goes back and his friend sees him, his friend acts like he's been gone this entire time, but his friend's the exact same age. So it's that
might be explained later.
Exactly. I'm not going to give the movie for not explaining something on a character that literally wasn't in the movie until the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give the movie about Captain Marvel for only being in the movie for a collective of 5 minutes. I'm not
just too overpowered.
I'm not going to give the movie for not including small snippets of each individual character, but I will give the movie for suddenly radically changing characters in between movies and then just acting like it's okay. Because the setup story arc in Infinity War is that the Hulk got his ass beat. Is he going to get that comeuppance? Never happens. Hulk and Thanos in this movie never even cross paths. The reference of him getting his ass beat is made once, and then that's it.
Yeah, because he's not a fighter anymore in this movie. That was his story arc, is he went from fighting everybody to wanting to not fight anymore. They set that up in Age of Ultron.
That's like saying that Superman should push pencils his entire life.
He probably should. He does more harm than good most of the time, just like Hulk.
But they're the powerhouses of the team. They're supposed to be...
Now there's another one called Captain Marvel.
Another story arc. Thor.
You didn't like him being fat and drunk?
I mean, no. That's a stupid joke everybody's made.
I think it was wonderful because Thor has gone from the most boring, generic, terrible character in the first 2 Thor movies to being hilarious as great in Thor Ragnarok, and now him becoming the fat Thor that's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, wonderful. They've done great changes to Thor to make him relevant.
What irritates me in this scenario is that what Thor is going through is the same he went through in Ragnarok.
Yeah. That's why they did it differently than him just being like, I'm going to go get revenge and get it. They bashed him against the wall, making him this stupid, drunk, fat guy who's not really relevant. They did something completely different than the pretty boy, glamour body, always has the right thing to say.
I'm on the lie, dude. I think after what happened in Ragnarok, there's no reason for Thor not to be kind of in the same boat as everyone else. Like, seeing Thor the way he is seems like it's just forced for the sake of there being, like, a joke.
Kind of.
Because it's not, because everybody knows Thor's not a crybaby drunk. He's just like a drunk.
Yeah, but I feel like I would being through the story arc that Thor's gone through, having lost all of his family, and then killing Thanos in the beginning of the movie, and then there being no answer for a while, I would probably have ended up the same way as Thor. It makes complete sense if he just thinks that there's nothing and that this is all existence is, and he's just fending for the Asgardian people that are on Earth and being a drunk loser that plays Fortnite. I think that's hilarious compared to him just being the same Thor continuously from the first movie.
I think a lot of the different things that they did in this film, it was just too easy. Time travel is just too easy. Making Thor a fat idiot is just too easy.
It's hard to close 22 movies worth of stuff.
Taking the Incredible Hulk basically out of the equation, in my opinion, is just dumb. Yeah, I think that's just flat out, you could have done so much with that. And it's not just from a fanboy standpoint, it's literally like you could have done so, you set that up, didn't do shit with it. And then set up Thor and his shit that he's got going on, didn't do anything with it. Thor didn't get his comeuppance. Really the only person that had a fulfilling story arc was Captain America. He was the only one that I was like, I'm happy for you. I'm glad your story's finally come to an end.
You didn't think that Sam getting the shield wasn't?
I mean, I just kind of we don't know Sam barely at all. The only reason he was given the shield is just because in the comic books, he's just the next guy in line.
Him or Bucky. I thought it was going to be Bucky.
Yeah, honestly, I would have given it to Bucky. I would have been like, what do you have, wings? That guy's got a metal arm that can beat my shield. Take it. You go be Captain America. You go fly off somewhere.
I thought it made more sense to give it to Sam because we don't know him at all.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
it gives him a chance.
Exactly, then it gives him a chance to flourish because we already know stories or Bucky's story.
Yeah, we don't know Sam.
Exactly.
So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see new take on Captain America. What I am hoping for is a Captain America buddy cop movie between the Winter Soldier and Sam.
That would be the best thing ever. Just because of that scene where they're in Civil War and they're kicking each other's seats.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be so good actually.
It would be awesome.
We got a Black Widow origin movie.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Way too overdue on that one.
Yeah, that's so bad it took her to die for us to get it.
How unexpected was that? I thought Hawkeye was for sure going to die.
No, I was like, dude, they're totally going to kill off Black Widow. There'd be no reason.
I thought of it because when they said that they're going to Vormir, I was like, one of them has to die.
Yeah.
But I thought that Hawkeye was just going to swan dive off of it and be like, you
yeah.
just go.
That was funny. I was like, I hope they get into a fight because that's just what these two characters
exactly.
do.
And it was exactly what I thought it was.
That was another good thing too. Was just seeing. It was this film that I was like, man, I really enjoy the relationship that Black Widow and Hawkeye have because it's not romantic in any way, and it's just pure friendship that they have, and they love each other in such a pure way. I love it so much. Just
wonderful. Seeing
them care for each other in such a way. Oh god, I love that scene where they're in the spaceship and they're just driving through hyperspace.
And they're both looking at each other smiling.
This is nothing like Budapest.
Right? That's great.
I think you could do Professor Banner and Professor Hulk. I think you can do that right. Here's my problem. I think they could have done everything that they did. They could have kept it all the same. If they had just given him one action scene. Is
that what you're mad about? Is that he didn't do any action scenes?
He just... here's the reason why it makes me mad that they went through the lengths they did and they went through the scenes they did and the writing they did to explain all this stuff, all this exposition, all this, that, and the other, just to get to the point of now Banner and the Hulk are the same person, if you're never going to utilize the Hulk side. There's just no reason other than saying, well, he's just that now. That's just the way he is now. The people on Earth, like, look at him and they're like, he's a monster. He goes around, he smashes and he fights, he's a monster. But when he was on Sakaar,
he was a hero.
He smashed and he did what the Hulk does, and he was recognized and basically worshipped for it. That's why he liked being on Sakaar.
Then he got his ass kicked.
And then he basically got dragged back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Then
that kind of makes sense, because then after having all of that worship and stuff on that planet, having to come back, get your ass kicked by Thanos, you're like, fuck this, not coming back. And then he ends up doing the same thing on Earth once he becomes the good Professor Hulk. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing that he was experiencing on Sakaar, except he didn't have to hurt anybody.
Right.
So I think it makes sense.
I will say this. I'm not mad that they went
You just wanted them to be more actiony towards the end.
I'm just saying they just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I think they did exactly what they should have with him in this movie.
Not use him.
Yeah, because they've used him. They used him too much in most of the other movies.
You know what would have been cool though?
What's that?
This is just a stupid scene that I thought would have been awesome to watch. Would have been when the Hulk is back in 2012.
Yeah.
And the Grandmaster, when he tries to go get the Time Stone, the Grandmaster like pushes Bruce Banner out of the Hulk's body.
Yeah.
What I thought would have been so funny.
If Hulk was still in his body,
if Hulk just woke up and just started going ape.
Write a report on that one, because that actually is something that should have happened.
I digress. I'm going to try and get off this Hulk stuff, because there is other stuff I do genuinely want to talk about.